Hey, welcome back to the Helton Real Estate Show. Today, we're going to be breaking down what happened in the market for Davidson and Williamson County for September. And as always, I've got my sidekick here, Sam Dahl. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And obviously the weather in Tennessee is getting a little crisp in the mornings. This is my favorite time of year, probably. I feel like I get this excited feeling in my gut for reasons I don't know why, but the crisp morning, it warms up to like upper 70s in the afternoon. But we're headed into what I might call pie season, where
It's a thing.
I don't eat pie except in the fall, specifically at Thanksgiving. Other than that, it's like pies don't even exist in my world, at least.
Really?
So I guess maybe one question would be, do you eat pie?
This is our question of the month.
Question of the month. Do you eat pie outside of like Thanksgiving window? And either way, what is your favorite pie?
Yeah. Since you had the question, I'm going to let you go first while I think about it. And I do want to point out that for a guy without hair, you have a very nice head of hair. For a guy that has no hair, those crisp mornings, man, I'm just saying it's a hard life.
Yeah, feel bad for you.
But back to the pies.
So you want me to answer?
Yeah, you answer. And let me think about this.
I would think my favorite pie, I'd definitely go pumpkin over apple, personally. If I'm picking a favorite pie,
it's a taste or texture thing.
Probably a taste thing.
All right.
I don't know. Apple pie is fine.
Okay.
I've never been excited about apple pie.
So you're going pumpkin?
Of those two, yes. I feel like those are sort of, in my mind, those are the two classic pies. But if I'm actually picking a pie, it's going to be pecan chocolate chip. It's amazing.
That
so
sounds
whipped cream
amazing.
on top. I love pecan pie, and then you just next level with the chocolate chip. You just
next leveled my answer, which is pecan pie.
Okay.
No chocolate chip, just straight up pecan pie.
The chocolate, honestly, it gets a little intense. Like, it's a lot of
small pieces.
Sugar,
you got to take it
and
in small
flavors.
Pieces.
But okay, we're on the same page. We should get some pecan pie going.
We should make
Next
a pie.
Next episode, we'll just have some pie out here.
Team building event.
Yeah.
Pie making, pecans, half regular, half throw some chocolate chips in there.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Sounds good.
As much as everybody loves hearing about pie, you can comment with your favorite pie on the YouTube video.
We would love to hear your
That'd be great. And we may find a reward for those of you that do decide to comment. But tell us the September market numbers. That's what people are here to actually hear, Alex.
Some of us want to. Some of these guys want to hear some personal, information.
That's probably true. And if you've got a really personal question you'd like to ask Alex, you can also comment with that, and I will make sure to ask him. We'll get that bald head turning red. All right,
out of here. You just need to delete this. Let's start over.
We're rolling.
All right.
We're rolling.
So
give us the numbers, Alex.
I gotta stand up and present the real estate weather here. So here's my summary. Is if I'm looking at this as a snapshot, it's really there's nothing big. There's no breakthroughs. It's kind of plateaued, kind of a bland Status quo.
Here we are.
Yeah. So, there's other questions that are a little bit more exciting to talk about. Like, okay, so what's going to happen in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? So that's my summary for people that like to pop in and pop out. For those that want to do a deep dive, here we go. Davidson County, month over month. So this September compared to last. Transactions are down 26% and up 17%. Transactions are down, median prices up. That's essentially the story. Transactions are down 15 to 25%, depending on time frame. Median prices up 12 to 20%, depending on the time frame.
And that's been the story. That's why we're status quo, because that's sort of been what we've been saying the last couple of months. Some version of that.
It's what we've been saying the last couple of months, and it's honestly, when I look at this, I go, okay, so this is what we expected. because you're going, man, interest rates have gone up and what's that going to do? And prices, the big fear is, oh my gosh, prices are going to tank.
Mm-hmm.
And that just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen because interest rates impact this is all supply and demand. And supply is just number of homes for sale, which means people are in them. They refinanced at a lower rate. Maybe now they're not so motivated to sell, but just like buyers, you're going to have the people that really are motivated to sell, and so they're going to put their home on the market regardless of the interest rate. And those things tend to balance themselves out. So if we're looking quarterly, we've got the same thing, a little bit different numbers, but essentially transactions are down, 25%, median price is up 15%-ish. And then similar in Williamson County, almost the same numbers. Transactions are down about 25%, median price is up 19%. Year to date, we have transactions are down 15%, essentially in both Davidson and Williamson County. Prices are up over last year. Median price is up over last year. Call it 20 to 26%.
Kind of the same story. We could have just reposted last month's update and put a new skin on it.
Pretty much. And then inventory is even the same. Over 1 million in Davidson County. I mean, this is like, this is so small, it's not worth.
It's like one day or something.
Yeah. However, it does get a red arrow. So inventory over 1 million is down. I think the big takeaway of this isn't here's what happened, but here's what didn't happen. What didn't happen is inventory is at 7-8 months, and there's just this like crazy thing happening in the market. Same with values. Like the appreciation rate, we're talking offline, appreciation rate has gone from what it was, last year to now it's about a 12% appreciation rate, which frankly is still unsustainable.
Yeah. Sustainable
long term is, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, you're looking at, 4%, give or take a touch.
So we're still triple what is like historically normal for appreciation.
Yeah.
As far as where we're at. It may continue to slow as far as growth.
Yeah.
That would be a probably pretty safe prediction.
Yeah.
Growth is going to continue to slow. Probably not start to, shift into reverse. I feel like we're braking.
Yeah.
We're at the worst it may happen is probably like we came to a stop. Mm-hmm. The chances that we actually put the vehicle in reverse and go the other direction, historically much less likely.
Yeah.
No one can see the future there. But
yeah. So that's the market. I think the message is everything is about like it's been over the previous 2 months. The big takeaway is what didn't happen is some crazy, free fall of home values and that sort of thing. I mean, still another way to say it is, in Williamson County, transactions are down 15%. Another way to say that would be that they're still selling 85% of the amount that they did over the last year, which is like everybody is like, oh man, this can't last. Like this is just crazy. Mm-hmm. Buyers, sellers, people that aren't even in real estate. All right, so that's the summary. If you're here to just listen to the market, some of our clients are also investors. They like to pop in, get the stats. It helps them. So you can. I think we're done with the market.
Go eat some pie.
So
tell us so the takeaway, if we're looking at a trajectory, feels like we've been on this climbing Mount Everest trajectory.
So now we're done with the market update. Let's talk a little bit about what questions people might be asking.
Yeah. So trajectory of the market, we've been at I'm scaling a cliff face trajectory on the market for a while. Feels like we got to the top and now we're basically at a plateau. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's a picture that's relatively accurate? What do you feel like the direction is that we're going? Whether it's, you can't predict appreciation, but what's the kind of overall direction?
I'm still going to say, so I don't think these are going to speed up. I don't think values are going to start appreciating at a faster rate. I could see them, to use your language, which I think is good. It does feel like a break. I could see them going down. I could see values going down as much as, I could still see them going down as much as 5-10%. This is just one man's experience, is that even with the interest rate increase, it feels a little bit like it did. It feels, to me, it reminds me of the pandemic. Okay, March, stuff starts shutting down in March 2020. Mm-hmm. And for the first 2 months.
That was 3 decades ago, right?
3 decades ago when we were washing our cereal boxes down from the grocery store and stuff like that. Insane stuff. And then several months go by and people are like, dude, I'm not living like this. Forget this.
I actually do have to buy a house for whatever reason.
Yeah. So again, this is just one man's experience, but I ask a lot of people, I try to piece together, because I'm asking the same questions, right? I just happen to be in it every day. And I don't know, it feels a little bit like that. The sentiment is I'm going to move on with my life regardless of what interest rates are. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I think one thing can be hard for people to maybe emotionally accept is where interest rates are.
Yeah.
For those that got used to my interest rate is at 2.8 on a 30-year.
Right.
That's amazing. Probably from the people that we're talking to, that's probably never going to happen again. I mean,
I wouldn't bank on it.
It had never happened before.
Yeah.
We're probably not going back there, so let's not wait for that. But it can be hard for people to kind of get emotionally okay with interest rates are, give or take, getting close to 7.
All right, let's talk about a phrase.
Okay.
Well, let me let you finish.
Well, I was going to ask, a month ago, rates dropped below 6. We sent out email out to everyone, said, you can lock in your rate if you want to buy a home.
Yeah.
And then within 2 weeks, they're at 7. They've gone back, they're jumping. I don't think rates are probably going down as long as inflation's a problem.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like it's time to buy? There are people that are waiting because of the rates. And they've lost money for the last couple months by doing that.
Yeah. So I've thought about this a lot. I want to give people the advice that if I were in their position and I heard, I would feel like I could trust it and it made sense. Mm-hmm. What I'm hearing a lot right now is date the rate, marry the house, date the rate. And anytime I hear, I don't know what it is, but when I hear phrases like that, I'm immediately like, ugh, what? Even if it's true, I want to come to the conclusion that it's true for myself. So when I hear marry the house, date the rate, the first thing is that sounds to me, it strikes me as a salesperson trying to sell something and has their head in the sand with all other circumstances. It's just nope, we're in the business, time to buy. Even if it's true, that's just the way it hits me. So I have not used that phrase at all, but I have put a lot of thought into what would I do, what is my advice. And I think it depends if somebody's buying, selling and buying, or only selling, or if they're an investor. These are 4 different scenarios. For somebody that is buying, one of the things that I think is true is that if I'm motivated to buy a home, especially because now we've got 3 months of essentially a plateau versus 3 months ago, oh my gosh, there's going to be a free fall of values. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a general fear if you're just kind of out there. So I have thought recently, it is true that if I'm motivated, number one, I need to be more discerning on what I buy. So location, condition, all that, fantastic.
Because you're not, for one reason, you're not going to be able to flip it in a year or two. Like appreciation's not going to, and
You're not going to be able to flip it, and now you have options. And so you just need to, you can be a more educated buyer rather than just sort of like you take what you can get if you need a home.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I'm going to be more discerning, and I'm also looking at if I do, let's say interest rates are 7% today. I guess that's about what they are, close. So 7% today. If I am motivated to buy a home, how I want to base a decision on is if rates never change, I like where I'm at. I'm glad I'm building equity over a long period of time, and I can afford my payment.
Great.
Then buy a home.
Yeah.
If you need to buy a home and you're literally only waiting for the interest rate, now here's the deal. Again, I'm so careful to say this because I'm like sales guy. Is that if you're going to buy a home and if you're waiting for interest rates to go down, then you can truly buy now. And if they go down, you can take advantage of it. And if they don't...
By refinancing?
By refinancing, thank you. And if they don't, then the opportunity for refinance wouldn't have been there, won't be there. And the lower interest rate that you would have been waiting for while you're renting or whatever wouldn't have showed up.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like, okay, that does make sense to me. I think a fear though that is in there in people's minds are, well, if that's going to happen, like in that scenario though, and I wait, maybe interest rates haven't gone down, but prices have gone down.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going, okay, we got 3 months. And I just think for somebody, if they're truly trying to time the market, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's just like investment. Markets like the last several years, really, even before this pandemic, have gotten people to think about real estate in such a shorter window of time than would be sort of conventional wisdom when it comes to real estate, which is
ever.
Yeah, look at it at a 10-year window. If this is a piece of property that you would like to have and you can afford it, and at current interest rates, then buy it. Like even if the interest rates is 20, if you want it and you can afford it, buy it. Over the long period, it's probably going to serve you really well. And if interest rates do go down, you can choose to refinance.
When I bought my first home, I remember the realtor saying, you don't have to love it. Most first-time home buyers only stay in their house 5 to 7 years. That seemed normal to me.
Yeah.
It has been normal for most, like, buy your starter home, live there for 5 to 7 years, let it appreciate, then figure out kind of the upgrade, so to speak.
Right.
We've gotten used to a different, like, I'll just live in this for a year, and
instead
of renting for a year, I'll live in this house a year, and then I'll go trade houses.
You've had the option in the last 2 to 3 years that you didn't have before, and that is you find yourself in your home for a year, and all of a sudden you can cash out and make $100,000 or more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Any last thoughts on? Well, one other note on the refi, because you mentioned it. Probably helpful to know. In the past, lenders have told us that if you can save 1%, it makes financial sense to refi. Because there are some costs involved, but if you were to buy it today at 7, they just have to get down to 6 for it to make sense for you to, you'll start saving money after a year or two. So that's just part of the conversation is where am I looking for rates to fall down to? Yeah. When interest rates are 3, you're probably never going to get down to 2. Yeah. You're just not going to be able to refinance. But if you get a 7, I don't know, going to 6 doesn't seem that crazy, at least to me, as far as if they're going to go down. Yeah. So 1% is kind of the benchmark for now it makes sense to save some money on the refi. Wherever you are. Yeah. Yeah. Whether you're starting at 6 or 7 or 8. I was at 4 at one time. I was able to go down because I could get just
rub it in,
2.
man.
A terrible 4% interest rate back in the day.
All right.
So, all right. Any last thoughts on market or implications that you got?
That's a wrap.
All right, wrap it up.
Appreciate you guys watching. As always, we love to talk about real estate. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest tomorrow or 3-5 years from now, whatever, we'd love to chat about real estate. So reach out to us wherever you're seeing this on online or wherever. And yeah, reach out to us. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next month.